What's good, people? We got another Ask FP. I apologize for the lateness. I usually don't write on Tuesdays, but I had to write, and also the Bulls just went into a ridiculous overtime. Thanks to a stupid foul by Kirk Heinrich, but whatever. Logan Hayes says thoughts on the Razorback football program moving forward. You know what? I love about the Razorbacks right now. That offensive line is absolutely beastly. We always talk about Wisconsin having this big, nasty offensive line, right? But if you look at what the Razorbacks are putting out there, I think that's a great direction for the football program, period. Build it behind that running game and defense. In the SEC, this is how you win, They're not a part of that elite group just yet, but if they ride that running game and that offensive line and that tradition, I think they'll be all right. See, Rayon Haravi says, are you going to add a throwback Vince Carter to the Ultimate Legends roster? Because I don't see one on the list. You know what? I did. I actually streamed me creating him, but the stream went real weird that night, cut off or whatever. I wasn't pleased with the final product, so I'm still going to keep working on that. So y'all, you know what I'm saying, just stay tuned for that. I'm not actually sure whether or not I'm going to continue to do the live stream of the creating of a legend on Wednesday, because I'll be quite honest, I feel like it's kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You guys give me the feedback in this, in the comment section of this video to tell me whether or not you think it's the same or whatever. So Jake Pagliaro says, why don't we have compression pants for our My Career player? You think 2K would change that? Have a great day. You have a great day too. Well, obviously you guys probably saw we're going to get the patch for 2K. I want to say, I might be wrong on this, I think it's the 14th of December. So we haven't gotten the details yet of what's going to be in that patch, but we do know that it's coming. I was told that the issue where the game freezes and crashes when you're in the creative players thing and you're trying to switch players around, I was told that was addressed and fixed. So we'll see. Let's see looking at it later on. Now Trevor Allen says thoughts on Washington. I don't say that name. Possibly releasing RG3 after the season. I think it's possible, man. I do. I think it's possible because sometimes guys just need a change of scenery, and I think that might just be what RG3 needs. I think he needs a change of scenery, man. I don't think like his career is cooked or anything like that. I don't think his confidence is totally shot. I think he just needs a change of scenery. So I certainly think that releasing him is a possibility, but I think before they do that, they're going to test and see what they can get for him in a trade first. That's usually the way that goes. So that's that. Ignacio Medina says, what can the Charlotte Hornets do to change things around? You know what, man? I really don't know. They're obviously much worse off than what people thought. Lance Stevenson, this is the reason why I didn't want him in Chicago, because I think he's a good kind of complimentary kind of player, but he's not the kind of guy that you want to look to be a major piece especially on a young team like that. See, Indiana was different. They were an older team, veteran team, and they were able to bring him along. Charlotte can't even help but almost kind of look at him as one of the leaders alongside, Kemba Walker and Al Jefferson. Just not there, man. I really don't know what they can do. Sports topic. I wasn't even sure if this was a serious question, brother. I really wasn't. He said, is Ed Davis a future All-Star? Maybe on NBA 2K15 if you edit his attributes or something. No, he's not a future All-Star. I think that he is a role player, and I don't think you're going to ever see him be anything more than that. Big, long body. He's the kind of dude that probably needed all 4 years of college. I believe he came out after his freshman or sophomore year out of North Carolina, so he didn't get it. I don't think he's going to be any different than that. So that's what that is. Sports topic also says, what My Career storyline do you like better, the NBA 2K14 or the NBA 2K15 when you're undrafted? You know what, man? I like them both, to be honest. And I also like that they're different. What I do kind of feel like is this, though. This is the issue that I see right now with the whole NBA 2K15 storyline thing. At some point, man, I think it is right to let you continue your save over from the last game. But if you want to give a new storyline every time, then you really won't really be able to do that. So I can't really say which one I like the best. I like them both. Sports Topic also says, what player would you want the Bulls to acquire via trade before the deadline? And that's his last question. You know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't think the Bulls need to get anybody. I am pleased with this roster if it's healthy. If the Bulls are healthy, I think they're the best team in the NBA. But that's the big deal there. I mean, you know, I think all of the entire squad has been healthy and together maybe, 2 or 3 games this season. So, man, I mean, maybe we need to trade the trainer or something. I don't know. But I don't think they need to make any trades. So, Natty says, when I watched the game between the Nuggets versus the Suns, under their score, it said bonus. What does that mean in the NBA? That means that they're in the bonus, like as far as fouls. So that means that they're shooting, if they get fouled again in that quarter, they're shooting free throws. So anytime you see that, even I think it's that way in NBA 2K as well. So if you see that it says bonus, then that means that they're shooting free throws and for the rest of the quarter. So just so you know that. All right, now I'm actually, while I'm doing this, I'm actually watching this Bulls overtime game. I didn't want to keep y'all waiting too much longer. Dallas just took a 2-point lead, 114-112 in overtime. It's really irritating me right now. Connor Massey says, do you think the Detroit Lions will make the playoffs? If you would have asked me that maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. But right about now, man, it's really shaky, right? Because I think we pretty much see Green Bay's running away with it, right? We know somebody's going to win the division in a woeful NFC South. In the NFC West, you know, you got the Cardinals were running away with it, but then things are getting a little shaky. You know what? I'm going to say no right now. It's going to be close between, you know, teams like the Cowboys and them. It's going to be close, but I'm going to say no. DJ Jackson says, for Brock Lesnar, if he was on the UFC game, do you think they could have used the same face and body in different attire? I don't think I understand. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I get that. For Brock Lesnar, if he was on the UFC game, do you think they could have used the same face and same face and body in different attire? Are you talking about from like last time? I don't know. I'm not sure. So I don't know what to say. I was hoping I read this and kind of got a better understanding, but I don't get it. What was the better rivalry, Cena versus Edge or Cena versus Punk? Man, I don't know. Man. Both of them were really good. I'm going to say Cena versus Punk because the Punk rivalry is the one that sprouted the pipe bomb speech, which is kind of made Punk who he is or who he was or whatever, however you want to look at it. So I think that one was a little bit more impacting, you know what I'm saying, overall. So I'm going to go with Cena Punk for that particular question. Next question, did you see the CM Punk interview? And if you did, how do you feel about it? I did. I listened to it. You guys have probably heard me say this before. I am not a big CM Punk fan. I respect him in the ring. I respect him on the mic. He's a very talented guy. He just comes off to me like a really big jerk. That's just my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong, but that's the way it comes off. So, do I believe some of the stuff he was saying? Absolutely, I do, because I don't particularly think the WWE and all their people are these upstanding guys. So, but I kind of, sometimes you get like two muddy people and they play together and they both get dirty. So who are you going to talk about? So AWOL says, do you think the Suns will make the playoffs? I don't think the Suns are going to make the playoffs because I think even though Oklahoma City didn't win in Durant's return, I just kind of feel like Oklahoma City is going to go on a run and they're going to come and they're going to push some people down. And I think that the Suns might be one of those teams that end up dropping off because of the way that the Oklahoma City Thunder starts to rise up the standings. They got to get their chemistry together and all of that, but I think that ultimately, I think they will. Suns might actually end up being one of the teams that fall off because of that. So there you go. Are there any new dunks or dunk packages in the NBA 2K15? I would say definitely there's some new ones. I don't know about dunk packages, but I've seen some dunks in this year's game that I haven't seen in other games for sure. So, yeah, there's some new dunks. I mean, I don't know if I can tell you specifically, which ones they are or anything like that. But like I saw an alley oop that was like a 360 alley oop and it was caught with the left hand. I don't think I'd ever remember seeing that one before. So that's definitely. But you know what? Speaking of new animations in 2K, the most impressive new animations for me are the rebounds. Some of the rebounds are really, really dope. They really dope, right? Oh, Derrick Rose hit a 3 to send this game into double overtime. I'm very sorry. But my man Stancher says, do you think that they'll ever let you create a team like they do in MLB The Show for a team? This is my first NBA game in 5 years. I really want that, man. As much as I wanted Derrick Rose to hit that 3, as much as I want. He banked it in off the glass. It was like a floater. It was like when you hit the wrong button on NBA Live and you shoot like a layup shot from 3-point range. That's what it was like. But anyway, NBA 2K, I really want them to do that, man. I think that's desperately missing from that's the only thing that's really missing from the whole creation suite. If y'all notice how my voice went up an octave now, I'm amped. Whatever. Brandon Cage, my dog, what are your thoughts on the rumor that WWE officially signed Uhaa Nation? He's expected to head to NXT shortly. Man, Uhaa Nation is the best unsigned wrestler that I had seen, period. I mean, I'm trying to tell y'all, if you have not seen Uhaa Nation, you need to be YouTube searching him right now. Imagine if you saw somebody that was like built like Biggie Langston, but a little taller. Maybe not quite as muscular, but close, real close. Taller, but doing standing moonsaults, gorilla military presses, shooting star presses, suicide. He's a beast. Check him out. Jalen Cook says, when you played in NHL 15, what settings did you use to get realistic stats, and what difficulty did you play on? I played on a difficulty, I think, right above the default, because I'm not real great at NHL. I found the scores to be realistic on that setting, but then you got to realize I'm not that experienced of a player in that game, so you got to take that into consideration. You got to take that into consideration, because if you really know what you're doing, maybe you light the computer up at that with that particular setting. So you just never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So you know what I mean? So just like I said, take that into consideration. Now, Matt Price says, do you think there will ever be a point where WWE will honor Chris Benoit, the wrestler, not the man, or is it too hard to separate? I think it's impossible to separate. How could you do that? How could you honor him ever? I mean, especially in today's society where everything is like looked at a certain kind of way, which rightfully so for this particular situation. You know, people who like Chris Benoit as a wrestler, hey, you like him as a wrestler, it's cool. But come on. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do it, man. You can't do it. I mean, it's no way in the world you can separate that and be like, oh, we're going to have a ceremony to talk about how great Chris Benoit was. But wait, but not that part. But just this part. Come on. You can't even do it. Just leave it alone. Matt Price says, if the Bischoff-led group would have purchased WCW, how long do you think they would have stayed in business? Probably a little bit longer. I mean, Bischoff, even though people say whatever they say about him, is still a legit name in the business who could still push it along. I don't know if I'm a fan of his whole, creative ideas and that sort of thing, but I definitely think that, it would have extended the life of it a little bit. But ultimately, I think WCW was going down because Vince McMahon said this in the interview. They were kind of letting the wrestlers run the deal, and you can't do that. Matt Price says, do you think Bradford, Newton, or RG3 will be in the league in the next 2 years? Absolutely. What? I mean, RG3 is definitely going to be there, and Cam Newton is definitely going to be there. Sam Bradford would be there for sure. Only thing that can make him not there is injuries. If anything outside of injuries, Sam Bradford will still be in the NFL. I mean, like I said, only thing that's going to take him out of the NFL is a career-ending injury, and I just don't think that that's going to happen, not in the next 2 years. I guess if he tore his ACL again, another one, but I mean, obviously he's not going to be the same guy, but I still think he'll be in the league. Connor Massey says, after the Patriots-Packers game, which he sent that on that night, do you still think the Patriots are the best team in the NFL? I do. I do still think that. Did they lose to the Packers? Absolutely. But they lost to the Packers 26-21 in Green Bay. We all know how good Green Bay is at home. I mean, Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception at home all year. I mean, he's just been amazing at home. I would like to see what happens if those two teams played in New England or on a neutral field, which I think we might end up seeing that in the Super Bowl, because this is still my pick for the Super Bowl right now. I mean, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, I'd say I've been saying that that's my pick for the Super Bowl. So what's your opinion? Jay Will says, what's your opinion of Universe Mode? I think that it is lacking for sure. I think it's missing some stuff, but I don't think it's so bad where it's just like, just absolutely like no good or anything like that. There's still enough there for you to enjoy, but it's definitely missing some pieces, for sure missing some pieces. You should be able to do more with rivalries. You should be able to do more, be a little bit more customizable with feuds. So it's missing some stuff. But like I said, it's not unplayable. Sometimes people try to act like things are just so bad that they just can't play them at all, right? So, but it's not that way. It's not to that point. Do you think the Shield, my man was this King Hype, says, do you think the Shield will ever get back together? I'd probably. You spin it around later on, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years from now, when all 3 of those guys have done their thing and, the WWE needs some kind of shakeup or something of a storyline. Absolutely, I could totally see the Shield getting back together. Somebody's face turn, somebody's heel turn leads to it, depending on which side of the fence those 3 guys are on at the time. And you see my octave of my voice is going back down because the Bulls losing 125 to 121. Jalen Cook says, is this one of the greatest NBA 2K games ever? Absolutely, it's one of the greatest. I don't buy the people that say it's better than 2K15, because it's not. It's not. Think about it. In 2K15, the only thing that anybody can say about the game is the servers, right? Well, the servers of 2K11 wasn't good either. And 2K15 definitely has more than 2K11 had. So, I mean, it is what it is. Oh my God, Dirk Nowitzki just threw something in off the glass, and it went in. But I can't say nothing because Derrick Rose hit the same type of three, whatever. Brian Cyrus says, if you fully watched it, what's your reaction to the Vincent K. McMahon Stone Cold podcast? Man, I thought that it was awesome. I think that that's the type of stuff that the WWE Network needs to put on if they really want people to be like, all right, now this, outside of the pay-per-views, of course. Outside of pay-per-views, if you really want to compel people to watch the WWE Network, that kind of stuff. Now, it can't be like every week, right? But some type of straight talk, something, because that's really like what people love, right? People really love that whole thing, right? They love that. So you got to give them that a little bit. Matt Price says, Bret Hart was able to mend his relationship with the WWE over time. Even after his podcast with Cabana, do you think CM Punk can? I do think that CM Punk can. I think that he probably will. At some point, things will dry up. He'll miss wrestling because he loves wrestling. And he'll want to come back. And CM Punk has an ego, just like all of the big wrestling stars. He's not going to want to. Only way you won't see CM Punk back is if he goes somewhere and gets linked up with somebody with a ton of money who can allow him to like run an association himself. If outside of that, ultimately he'll be back. Matt Price says, what are your guilty pleasures as far as music, TV shows, and food? Well, food, I like Jamocha almond fudge from Baskin Robbins. That's good. But that milk, man, that dairy make me farts, man. It makes me fart. So that's a guilty pleasure. TV shows, I actually watched this reality show called Utopia. Y'all watch that? It's really stupid, but I actually watch it. Music, oh man, I don't know. Just about anything on the radio right now, if I like it, it's a guilty pleasure because I don't even like I ain't a radio dude. Radio just play some trash sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But that's it for Ask FP this time, man. Y'all leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace.